Hello, I'm so glad to see you here, because I want to discuss with you how to be a good project manager, or how to become a better project manager. So I will share some tips and my observation from my practical experience as a PM in software industry. Let's dive in. Okay, first of all, and it's one of the most important things that I'm going to tell you today, is that you must be a leader, not a manager, even if your title says that you are a project manager. Okay, you must have heard this, but what does it actually mean on practice? What should you do with it? So I think that you as a PM should not enforce any decisions or manage the work actually. You need to set a vision of the working environment in which people will be happy to perform the tasks that you need them to perform. In essence, it means that you set expectations and provide guidelines to the final results that you want to get from the work of these people. And you give enough space for them to put their own ideas into the work that you ask them to do. On the other hand, as a leader, you need to communicate clearly why you care so much about finishing the project successfully, why people should care as much as you do, why should they work harder to finish it successfully. And you should be self-aware about this why. Is it your goal or is it their goal to finish the project successfully? Because if it's your goal that you are trying to force them to pursue, they will not commit. Moreover, it should be a common goal for the whole team, not for some individuals. Because if you will set challenging tasks to the whole team while they are pursuing only personal goals of a few, they will not commit as well. And last but not least, in this point, you should put your team above the client's needs. And this means that when you challenge your team to do some tasks, again, think about whether you are pursuing their goals or the goals of your client. Okay, moving on to the second point, and it sounds like human interaction should go above any processes or workflows. And yes, it comes from agile frameworks. And the idea is simple: if you can avoid formalizing the process or the workflow and instead use the common sense and communication interaction on personal level, go for it. Why? Well, because there is a person who spins the wheels and gears of your project management approach. It's not your tools, documents or processes. It's people. Okay, think about it for a moment. From theory, project management is quite straightforward, scriptable and actually can be automated. And project managers can be substituted by robots. But it doesn't happen. Why? Because in the basis of any project and any project management approach, there are human interactions and they do push the project further. And to push people further, you need to build relationships, because human beings crave for relationships and there is no script for that. Project management is based on motivating others and negotiating with them so that they do some specific work, and you as a PM help them to collaborate. And no document or described process will ever substitute this facilitation. Okay, let's move on to the next point in how to be a good project manager. And it sounds like you should be proficient in project management approaches. You see, you as a project manager has a very specific role here. You manage and organize people to do the work. So the main expectations for you from team members is that you do know what to do and how to do in every moment of a project. But be careful here, because I'm not talking about certifications in all possible frameworks in the project management domain. Again, I'll repeat it, you need to display confidence in what to do, when to do, with given people and on given projects. So think about project management as a toolbox, and there are tools for different tasks. Therefore, the more tools you master, the more tasks you can complete successfully. Okay, let's move on to tip number 4, and it's your professional development. As you may know, helping others to build a career or help them just do their work better is one of the best motivational techniques. And it goes without saying that it requires some professional development from your team members, which means they need to learn something new, they need to achieve some results, and maybe finish some projects successfully. But if you want to make this powerful technique to work, you need to lead by example, which means that you need to show how to professionally develop your career, which in essence means that you need to display that you do learn something new by getting new certifications, going to training, trainings, conferences, and so on, and people need to see this. And likewise, you need to share your knowledge, and that's the tip number 5. Share your knowledge with your team members. Again, think about it. If you have 1 year of practical experience, you already know more than a person who doesn't have practical experience at all. And likewise, if you have 2 years of experience, you know more than a person who has only 1 year of experience. So from one side, your team members have 0 experience in project management, so you can teach them all the things that you know. On the other side, there are a lot of other junior project managers who have less experience than you do, and you can share your knowledge with them. The best way to position yourself as a leader here is by providing lectures to your team members and other project managers in your company. Just choose one topic where you have practical experience, and for sure you will find someone who will want to learn this from you. Alright, moving on, and I think it's point number 6. You need to learn to say I don't know. It's in contrast to what we just discussed with you with the previous points, but you should know how to say I don't know, or at least I don't know at this moment. It's bad when you position yourself as I know it all person, but it's even worse when you position yourself as I know it all person and you make mistakes. You are an expert in project management, you are not expert in industry specific questions, you are not a technical expert, you are not the person who knows how to make estimates the best for the given task. You as a project manager and as a leader use the expertise of your team. They provide all the knowledge in this subject matter. Therefore, you should be comfortable to say I don't know, I need to consult with my team, or I don't know, I'll find someone who will know it for sure. And believe me, your clients and customers will respect you more if you say I don't know and will come back with the certain results, rather than saying I know it and then failing them to deliver. Alright, moving on, and it's point number 7. You should be available to solve problems. I told it in point number 1. Remember, you should position your team above the client's needs. So it means that first of all you need to be aware of the problems that the team has. So you either need to be collocated with them and do listen to the problems that they talk about while they do the work, or you need to have regular one-on-one meetings with each team member, or at least with key team members on your team. All in all, you should be a part of the team, which means their problems should be your problems and you should put efforts in solving them. Number 8, you should learn the processes and policies of the company. Policies and processes in the company are the hygiene factor as to Herzberg theory, which means if they are not clear and transparent, they can become a demotivator. So to be a good project manager, you need to remove the traction between your team members and the company they work in. For example, here are the processes that you want to focus on. So how to get a promotion, how to get benefits, how to get trainings, and how to reduce administrative errands. For sure, you don't do this for them, but you do provide support, consulting, you set reminders and explain all these policies so that they are clear and transparent. Okay, tip number 9 says that you should protect your team from the distractions. Okay, I believe you already know about this, but I want to specifically point out one thing. You as a project manager is the source of distraction as well. So what can you do? First of all, you can reduce number of meetings that people need to participate in. Likewise, you can select some people from your team who are comfortable with meetings and put them into a team leader's position, so they cover all this communication. Then you should clearly set priorities on what needs to be done first, second and third. A person on your team should always have a few days worth of work without interacting with you. Likewise, you should not change directions too often, and a person should be able to finish one piece of work before starting another one. I'm sure you got the point. 2 practical takeaways here is to remove unnecessary meetings and set clear priorities and expectations for the next few days of work for each person. Number 10. Don't communicate more, communicate efficiently. Yes, you already heard about the statistics that a project manager spends 90% of their time communicating. That's cool, but it's bullshit. Yes, project managers communicate a lot, but only because they communicate inefficiently. And my experience shows that you can manage a team and stakeholders with only 2 meetings per day. So if you want to learn how to do this, I recommend you to watch my series of A Day in Life of a Project Manager and my another video on how to write emails in project management. I will leave you links in the description. So if you want to become a better project manager, think hard how you can make your communication more efficient, so that you don't need to communicate more or over communicate. And finally, point number 11, and it's a kind of summary to everything that we talked about. You need to delegate everything you can. There are only 3 things that you cannot delegate. It's project management approach, leadership, and motivation. That's all. Everything else should go to your team members. To be a great leader, you need to make your team feel like you are just the guide and they do all the work, they take all the decisions, and they have ownership over the product or service that they do. And yes, it means that all fame and glory goes to your team members and you don't take any credit for the work you do. But in the long run, your team members will understand who is behind their success and they will share the glory. Alright, the sponsor of this video is my free career change cheat sheet. So if you want to become a good project manager from the start, do get this PDF right now. I'll leave you a link in the description below. Alright, these are my 11 tips on how to be a good project manager, which comes from my practical experience. If you have other tips, do share them in the comments below, I will appreciate it a lot. And if you enjoyed this video and you don't want to miss any other good videos on project management and leadership, do subscribe to this channel and hit that bell button now. Next, do watch the videos that I recommend here, because I do believe you will find them valuable as well. See you in the next video. Bye.